When you score, you make the Celtic sing. Jota on the wing, Jota, Jota on the wing. Every time you get the ball, we know there's gonna be a goal. Our superstar from Portugal. Before we go any further, right, hello, lads and lasses. Welcome back to Boys Down Under. And I think we all know what this video is going to be about. And I think that introduction says it all. So if you are enjoying the content, please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. If you love my singing vocals, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are hyped about this new breakthrough news regarding Jota, like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into it. So after all the reports of Jota not wanting to come back to Celtic, and Celtic were looking at replacements such as Ola Solbakken from Bodo Glimt, the reports dropped late last night here in Australia that Jota wants to say, yes, João Pedro Neves Felipe, our Jota on the wing, will be a Celt next year. It was first reported by Portuguese outlet Jornal Noticias that the incoming new Benfica boss, Roger Schmidt, had approved the decision for Jota to continue his career at Celtic and stay on a permanent basis. Then more reports were coming out that Jota had informed Benfica of his desires to stay at Glasgow permanently, which I think was the deciding factor in the whole ordeal. You know, Celtic were never going to be short of the cash. I don't think that was going to be an issue. I think the issue was always going to be whether Jota wanted to stay at this club permanently. And his reactions and his performances, they said it all. He may have been tight-lipped in the press conferences. He may have not wanted to talk about bureaucracy. That's a direct quote from Jota himself. But his reactions and performances on the pitch have said it all. It's clear as day. He's loving the football. He's loving the fans. And what more do you want from a football club as a player? You want to be enjoying your football and you want to be enjoying it with people around you who you enjoy being around. It's as simple as that. And, some were worried. Would Celtic pay up purely because of the reports recently that saying Celtic would be reluctant to pay the £6.5 million for his services? But then here comes another Portuguese outlet to save the day. Ebola. No, not the virus Ebola, but Ebola. Another Portuguese outlet reporting that Celtic have triggered their option to buy, and now all the talks will occur with Jota and his management regarding personal terms. And all we can do is breathe, cheer, celebrate, because thank God for this. In the words of George Jota Michael, you gotta have faith. And this lad has been absolutely sensational for Celtic this year. 12 goals, 12 assists in 38 appearances in all competitions. Not to mention 2 goals and 1 assist in his last 2 games. He is the reason, we won at Ross County, and he's also the reason we didn't drop points to Rangers at Celtic Park. He was directly involved at both goals at Ross County, scoring 1, assisting the other, and he scored the decisive goal against Rangers. And arguably should have probably got an assist as well that match, with Dyson Maeda fluffing his lines a couple of times. But, those are just 2 instances in recent time. And I'm not a big fan of recency bias, but you can't forget about all the other times this season where he has been the deciding X factor. I can't speak highly of Jota enough. Seriously, this lad is going places. And as a fan of Celtic, I am so relieved to hear this, and that we're going to enjoy Jota for another couple of years at least, because he's the most exciting player at Celtic right now, and in the league for that matter. With the silky footwork, game awareness, pinpoint accurate passes and crossing, he fits all the qualities of a top exciting modern day winger. And it feels like yesterday, after a rough couple of performances, Jota scored that late winner against Aberdeen just before the international break. I said at the time it was just paper over the cracks, but it turned out to be so much more. It was the beginning of a dominant domestic run for Celtic, and if he hadn't scored that, well, we would have been in a completely different place right now, I feel. And, speaking of Aberdeen, Jota does love a goal against Aberdeen. He's scored 4 times in 3 appearances against the Dons, so that's just a little fact for you guys. But like I said earlier, the stats do not lie in football, and he has been in great form for Celtic this season. And I think, honestly, he was subject to a lot of negative criticism regarding the form slump. I don't think his form slumped at all. I think coming back from the injury, he was still putting up numbers and impressive numbers for that matter. Was he as silky and finesse as he was straight away at the start of the season? No. But, coming back from injury, naturally he's going to be a bit tentative with not wanting to, injure himself again. But he slowly eased himself back into the dazzling footballer we know and we all love. And look, he is still only 22. That's something we've got to remember. He's not a 27, 28-year-old world-class experienced footballer. He's 22, and footballers roughly hit their prime in that age gap, the 26 to 28 range. It's scary to think how good Jota can get, but it's not scary as in I'm scared because he's going to play for Celtic. I'm scared for any opposition who wants to try and take on Jota because he's going to be an exciting and very, very talented footballer without a doubt, And it does this Celtic team, a world of good because he has this spot in the team cemented. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. He is a shoo-in in the starting 11, whether that be at left wing or right wing. And heading into a Champions League run next year, we need players with his capabilities because, you look at the Celtic squad, while there is a lot of talent in the squad, we work well together as a team, but Jota's one of those players who does both so well individually and as a team. And he can be a difference maker against these top European sides without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind he will show up in those big games. But looking at it, the chemistry he already has with the team, it's so clear on the pitch. His dual celebrations with Dyson Maida. When one of the most wholesome moments of the season was his reaction to getting subbed, was when he was getting subbed off and Kyogo was getting subbed on for the first time in 3 months since his injury. The look, it just made your heart melt. It was so great to see. He's got, the best hairdo in the league. I could go on for days, singing Jota's praises, but the bottom line is that it's a win-win for all parties in my eyes, Benfica, they get £6.5 million they can invest elsewhere, maybe put it back into the academy, which is where Jota came from. Celtic, we get a player who's absolute class and absolute quality, and he's a player that if we wanted to try and sign him without this transfer buyout clause, which is worth only £6.5 million, we'd be paying upwards of double digits for Jota's services. Look at us, we're already paying $10 million for Cameron Carter-Vickers, or so it seems. But yeah, no. The team chemistry will continue to improve. It's not like we're bringing in a new winger. I think that's the best part. I think you need to keep those connections in the team to build on them because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, Jota, he's got so much individual talent, but what makes him so special is what his capabilities are with the players around him, Don't get me wrong, I love it to see him, I'd love to see him take on the whole team, score a wonder solo goal. But, when he beats 2 or 3 players and plays an absolute peach of a cross in, and finds, Giacomarcus or Kyogo's head to head it in, Dyson Maida should have headed it in at Celtic Park, but we moved. But still, you guys know what I mean. I'd much rather see that him score 2 or 3, to absolutely rinse 2 or 3 defenders, play a perfect ball in and score, because it highlights both his, it highlights that he's unselfish, but he's also got the capabilities to, beat 2 or 3 defenders, which we've seen all season. He's absolutely made a mockery of some of the league's defenders. And I am so gassed about him staying permanently, and I'm just excited. But now I think with these reports, with reports, you take them with a grain of salt, but I think there's too much I wouldn't even say speculation, there's too many reports that I think it's almost guaranteed that we will see Jota. I'd say it's 99.9%. It's almost as guaranteed as Celtic winning the league this year. So that's made my day. That's made my week. Now I think it's just on to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Sealed that. That's pretty much sealed. If we only make 2 signings in the transfer window, and those 2 are our signings, I'll be happy. I would like to see a left back come in. I would like to see some other depth come in for another video, but £16 million for Jota and Cameron Carter-Vickers, that is an absolute bargain in my eyes, because they will be world-class footballers without a doubt. They have their potential is through the roof. But that is all from me. I am still so gassed. I was very disappointed when I heard the rumours that Jota didn't want to stay. So now that these reports that came out that he has, and Celtic have actually triggered, the buyout clause, gassed, absolutely gassed. But that is all from me. So leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave in the comments below your thoughts on the news, breakout news about Jota. How you guys excited for it? Do you think we should have targeted someone else? If you do think we should have targeted somewhere else, you're going to need a convincing argument, because I will wholeheartedly disagree with you. But yeah, that is all from me. So until next time, hail, hail.